On this episode of Game Shack, Arcade1up just announced yet another retread for the year 2024, yet it's been almost a year since we've heard an announcement for an actually new title. So I asked the question, are we going to see a new title at all in 2024? And if we don't, what does that mean moving forward for the home arcade community? All right, let's talk all about it coming up next. Hey everybody, welcome on back into the Game Shack. I am your host, JDV, for Evil Genius Entertainment. Thanks for stopping on by. It really does mean a lot to us here at the channel. If you dig this kind of content, please give me a thumbs up on the way out the door. It really helps this channel and it helps other people discover home arcade type content. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell if you have. And if you really want to go crazy, you could buy me a coffee. Links down below. All right, that out of the way, let's talk a little bit about the retreads and the lack of new games from Arcade1up in 2024. Today, Michael B. released a video talking about the fact that Arcade1up is going to be re-releasing Golden Tee 3D. That's not a real big surprise, as in the last version of that game had a poor screen on it. And of course, there is a lot of interest in that cab. Not for me, it is not my bag, baby. I don't really give a dang about Golden Tee, but if you do, then go check out Mike B's video. He does his usual thorough good job talking about the cab over there. And what's funny about that is that I was getting ready to release this video anyway, talking about the lack of new announcements from Arcade1up. And to me, this is not a new announcement at all. It's just yet another retread. In fact, I found out that it was exactly 11 months ago today, on April 20th of 2023, that Arcade1up announced Fast and Furious. Now, Fast and Furious was one of the most successful cabs in 2023, and one of, I think, 2 new titles that actually came out that year, maybe 3. Of course, they did put out a bunch of awesome deluxe versions of their cabs, which I'm not going to, kick dirt on for that. But it has been 11 months since Fast and Furious was announced, and that is a galaxy length of time in terms of this particular market segment. And so now I'm starting to wonder if we're going to see any kind of a new announcement from Arcade1up at all this year. So I think that anybody who was hoping to hear a new announcement for something like Track and Field or Robotron, Smash TV, that Alien vs. Predator cab, which despite some flaws did look pretty interesting to me. For anybody wanting a new title, not just a retread from Arcade1up, this has got to be some disappointing news. Yes, I understand Golden Tee fans have been waiting for this a while, and a lot of people have been up in the air whether or not they should go back and just mod the new version of it that had the bad screen, or do something with the old version. For you Golden Tee fans, yes, I'm excited for you, and that is a cool thing. But for anybody else wanting a new title, this is, to me, it's bad news, because once again, it means that Arcade1up seems to be putting priority on things that they have already done. In other words, where they can reuse PCBs like they did in X-Men 97, as opposed to, say, giving us a new title like putting Punisher on that game, or alternatively, giving us a Track and Field, Robotron, Smash TV, AVP. They apparently have quite a few games still underneath their belt. Hey, how about a Mortal Kombat 3 or 4, right? We could be nice to see that, or Street Fighter Alpha. None of those things have been announced, and indeed, nothing new has been announced for 11 months now from that company, at least in terms of new titles. Nature abhors a vacuum, and so does economic segments like the home gaming, home arcade segment. And if Arcade1up doesn't start spitting out some new titles, then they are going to lose market share. A lot of us had hoped that some other company would step up and start putting out branded 3/4 scale or even full-size arcade cabinets. That hasn't quite happened yet, but I can almost guarantee you that by the time December of this year rolls around, somebody will have stepped up and somebody will have started to put out that type of product beyond just at games and their 4KP. So, at this point, Arcade1up still has a chance to recover. But in my opinion, they're not going to do it by just putting out more retreads. No matter how popular that retread is, you only have a limited audience for something like that. It's very hard to grow your audience when all you're doing is making the same thing again and again And again, okay, let me know down below what you think. Do you think we will see a new title announced before June? Will we see it announced in time for the Christmas season, you know, sometime in, say, October or November? Or no, we're not going to see any new titles of any kind at all this year. No new racer, no shooter, no other kind of straight arcade game like Alien vs. Predator or Smash TV. Let me know down below what you think. It really does matter to me. And, you know, I'm a little worried for Arcade1up, a company that I do hope manages to stay in the game because they do make really good products when they do make them. All right, love each other, and until next time, I'll see you guys in the Game Shack. Mwah!
Be sure to visit evilgeniusentertainment.com for exclusive content, swag, casting call news, and much, much more.